Yo, what's going on, Jeremiah? What's going on, Mike?
What's up, Matt?
How you feeling, Mike?
Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah, you
good.
excited for your bullpen tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
Let's
So
go.
excited.
Let's go. How was the 4th of July?
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, y'all went to
Yeah. Yeah, I was down at the beach with my family.
you got a beach house down there, or y'all just went down there and like got a hotel or something?
My grandparents have a house, so
Let's
we
go.
stayed there. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's see. You're not gonna be able to make the close eyes. John not gonna be able to make it. John's dealing with a freaking tropical storm down in Texas. Y'all been seeing that or no?
Like that hurricane.
Yeah. I think Jeremiah had to log off. Probably log back in. We'll get started here soon. It might just be us two. I'll make it real quick tonight. First and foremost, does anybody have any questions? Jeremiah, you're just on mute if you're trying to talk, bro. Anyways, Mike, you got any questions of any sort that I can help answer right now?
Nah, I just want to know about the in-season listing,
Yeah,
like all that.
yeah, I'm about to go deep into details of that. Jeremiah, if you can just put in the chat if you have any questions, dude. I'm about to go into a presentation. Yeah. I don't know if you've got anything figured out there, but if you guys have questions along the way, all I ask is you just raise your hand, and instead of just shouting it out, or since it's just us three, I don't really care. You can go ahead and shout it out. Can y'all see my screen here?
Yep.
All right, you see like reliever, 5-day starter, 7-day starter here.
Yeah.
All right. So, when we talk about like in season versus out of season lifting, all right, there's definitely a big difference. Okay. We'll talk about, I might as well just start it down here. But we'll talk about the differences in between like what days you should be targeting for what types of lifting. Definitely in season, since both of you guys are in season. And then when it comes to off season lifting, like where it is that you can be making your gains, what are the goals, what is the primary objective. What is the primary objective of lifting in season? Is it to make more gains? Is it to maintain? We'll talk about all that stuff. So in this video right here, we're going to be talking about in season versus off season lifting. So in season lifting days, primarily for a starter, are going to be 2 days in advance of when you pitch. So when you start on a day right here, right on a 7-day start, you typically, let's say you start on a Saturday, that next Sunday needs to be really just recovery, right? You're not really pitching the next day. Your body was just taxed on a pitch day and just went into full exhaustion mode, trying to give you the best that it possibly could. And then if you were to go in and do like a lift after that, you might feel even more tired. Or if you were to go in to try to do a lift the next day, you also just did back-to-back days of your body getting just absolutely crushed. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself a good day of recovery. And then on day two, if you're a 7-day starter like you are, Mike, right, you would come in here. And on day two, after your start day, you would have a lift after your hybrid. Now, a hybrid day would be more of like a long toss game, right? A light long toss game. So you're getting your body moving again. You're stressing it just a little bit, but then you're able to recover it with a lift. And then you would recover from that, from throwing and from lifting. So you wouldn't have lifting. And then you would come throw your bullpen. And on that bullpen day, you would also have a lift on that day. So you'd be aiming for days 2 and days 4 in order to lift. Then you would have a day off to give your body a full day's rest so that you're not having to throw 7 days in a row, have an off day, come back, throw a short box, which is just a light touch and feel. And then you'd be back to starting it over all over again. So this is typically what it looks like at a very, very high level for a 7-day starter, right? So for pitchers, starting pitchers, day one lift, right? Your day one lift should occur 2 days after start, and 2-day lift should occur on a bullpen day after throwing. Typically, you see guys lifting 2 times a week. There are occasions in season where guys are lifting 3 times a week, but if you're lifting 3 times a week, it's probably lighter. And if you're lifting 2 times a week, it's probably a little bit heavier within your lifting to be able to maintain those goals and those strengths that you built all off season. For relievers and position players, it's a little bit different. Position players and relievers, right? They're hot every single day, right? As a position player, you have to play every single day, and you can't really get a good gauge on when you're gonna have a good time to lift. And so really what you want to realistically do is just set a schedule with yourself and say, hey, if I'm just a reliever, which are a position player, which neither of you guys are, hey, I'm going to lift every Tuesday and Thursday, or I have 7 days to get 2 lifts in, and I just need to get my 2 lifts in over the course of 7 days. These are going to be lifts done prior to the game, more than likely, if you're like in college and or the pros. If you're a high schooler like you guys are, this can be done after, and it's actually preferred that it's done after your lift. So making sure that we're understanding that 2 days a week of lifting is kind of the bare minimum of what you guys need to be doing in order to withstand and sustain the gains that you've made all off season. So right here, in-season versus off-season lifting for baseball players. Understanding the differences between in-season and off-season lifting is crucial for pitchers at the high school and college level. Each period has different distinct goals and requires different approaches to ensure you stay healthy and perform your best on the mound, right? So again, here's off-season lifting. Let's start with in-season lifting since you guys are both in season. The goals, right? Our goals are not to really get any stronger, right? I think that would be everybody's like best case scenario, and you can definitely add on size, but the main goal of in season is to stay healthy and perform at your best on the baseball field. The weight room is a secondary thought, but it is something that needs to be at the forefront of your mind as well. So the goals are to maintain strength and power, enhance recovery, prevent injuries, and kind of like take a prehab approach where you're proactively taking care of your body to ensure that you don't have any injuries, as opposed to rehab, which is, hey, I just got injured and now I have to, figure out how to get healthy again. And then maintaining mobility and flexibility throughout the season. As you guys can imagine, you both know, throughout the course of 6 months, you guys both probably started playing over 3 months ago of baseball, 4 months now. Your body starts to tighten up. Our joints start to move a little bit differently. We're constantly using our arm to throw, and that's internally rotating, and that needs to be straightened out over the course of time. So again, that's what our main focuses need to be, is maintaining strength, enhancing recovery, and maintaining mobility and flexibility. And all of that done properly will help reduce the chances of injuries. All right. Again, the frequency is 2 to 3 times a week. Your intensity is probably going to be lower intensity and lighter weights. Now, there are certain programs where it is high intensity with heavier weights. Maybe it's high weight with like a low rep volume. To each their own. But again, I think it's this being the main thing. If you are going to do it at that rate, it still needs to be only 2 times a week. And making sure that you're able to stay relatively energized, and making sure that you're not sacrificing what you're doing in the weight room for what you are getting output on the field. In season, guys, our main objective is to get the maximum output on the field, right? It's not what numbers can we throw up in the weight room. It's not anything like that. It's what production can I get out of myself in the weight room. Volume, again, lower volume, fewer sets and reps, focus, maintenance exercises, mobility, and recovery. Examples here, day after pitching, light body, full body work. I'm a big proponent of full body works. We use our full body to throw. So when we train, I'm always thinking like, hey, let's get a full body lift in, not just upper or lower body. It takes all of it to throw. You didn't just use your upper body to throw a baseball and play, and you didn't just use your lower body to throw a baseball and play. So making sure that you're doing a full body workout is always kind of best case scenario. So off season, we'll lightly touch on it. This is more for John, but the off season goal is to build strength and build power. This is our number one concern. We aren't playing on a baseball field. We aren't worried about what productions we get off the mound or, what we're doing in front of scouts. Like that's not the worry. Our number one goal is to see how strong and powerful we can get, right? To increase muscle mass and improve overall athleticism. And then really to correct any imbalances that you had over the course of the season. So like Mike, you're coming off of, your shoulder. We've got you back to where we need to be. We're going to start throwing bullpens again, but this off season, what do you think is going to be a really, really good goal for you if you had to guess?
Probably just get bigger, put on weight,
Get bigger,
get a lot
strengthen the
stronger.
shoulders, strengthen the core, like strengthen everything, right? That'll help prevent these injuries in the future. There's a great saying that just says like hard things don't break, right? Like if you build yourself into a strong, mobile machine, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to break that thing down. Now, if you're weak in certain areas and you don't sleep well and you don't eat well and you're not lifting and you're very fragile, like of course, when you start to long toss and of course, when you start to throw at higher intensities, something is likely to break down. But if you're doing what you need to do every day in the weight room, you're getting stronger, you're taking care of your nutrition, you're taking care of your sleep, you're making sure that you're hydrated and you're on a focused plan. It's going to be very, very difficult over the longevity of your career to have injuries kind of plague you. Now, injuries sometimes can't necessarily be avoided. There's great things that we can do to, higher the chances of them not happening, but accidents do happen. But you always want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity to stay healthy and on the field. And this is where it comes from. All right. Let's say here, so considerations when doing your lifting for in season, right? Timing. You want to avoid lifting heavy the day before you pitch or the day that you have to perform at maximum capacity. Why? Because you want to ensure that your muscles are fresh and ready to go. You don't want to be so sore the next day that, you can't move and you can't perform to the best of your ability. Now, what I will say is that some of the guys that I've been around will go the entire season and say, oh, I don't want to lift in season because I don't want to be sore in season. And it's like, hey, if you just continually lift and you hit your checkpoints every week and you're doing maintenance lifts throughout the season, you're not really putting you in a position to be sore, right? I'm sure both of you have lifted. Both of you guys are starting to lift regularly now. When you go to the gym regularly and you're not maxing squat every single week, you don't really get sore. It's just maintenance lifts. It's just like taking your body to the masseuse and getting it massaged and like really just making sure that your muscles are firing on all cylinders and they're not, deteriorating over the course of a season. So timing is very, very crucial when you want to get your lifts in. And there's only a small window in which you can really get your lifts in throughout the season from start to start, right? From outing to outing. So make sure that you understand that. A light recovery session the day after you pitch can help reduce soreness. So while you might not have a lift the day after, a great way to reduce soreness could be to go on a very, very long walk. Lots of guys like to go on light jogs. Lots of guys like to do a very, very long mobility routine and yoga stretch the day after, right? Not really putting a lot of stress on the body, but moving it around in a way that it's able to recover itself. Okay. Also, things to consider throughout the long season. All right. Listening to your body. It's crucial to pay attention to how your body feels, right? If you're experiencing any excessive soreness or fatigue, it's okay to adjust your lifting routine or take an extra day rest, right? You guys aren't machines. We weren't built as machines, right? Even though it's suggested to lift 2 to 3 times a week, if there's a week that comes out and you're just absolutely gassed, and after the first, lift, you're just like, dude, I can't do another one this week. From the sole fact that you're exhausted, not from the sole fact that you don't want to lift. There's a big difference, but from the sole fact that you're exhausted, it's okay to take some time, right? The body needs to recover. We'll get into what all of that looks like here when we talk about central nervous system. All right. Rest and recovery. Ensure that throughout the season, you're getting enough rest in between lifting sessions to allow your muscles to recover and grow, right? We don't want to hit in-season workouts back-to-back days. We want to give ourselves enough time to recover. Make sure that in season you're prioritizing sleep. Right now, you guys all need at least 8 hours of sleep. If you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You're letting a lot of gains on the table. You're leaving a lot of gains on the table, and you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to recover. Hydration and nutrition are also a huge factor in how we develop ourselves within the season. I know you guys know that, but again, I'm just going to keep harping it. You need to be staying hydrated, not just drinking only water either. Your body needs salt. It needs, things like Gatorade. It needs things like, liquid IVs. It needs things of that nature. So if you're only drinking water, I love it, but let's make sure that we're mixing in some electrolytes. Let's make sure that we're mixing in some salt with our water. I was always told to salt my food as well. One, it gets the salt inside of you. Two, it helps you just drink more water in general, right? When you eat a bunch of salty popcorn, what do you want? You want some liquids. And what liquids do you want to put down right now in season? Probably water, right? So salt your foods, get that in there. It helps with the cramping, all that good stuff. And then consistency, guys. This is probably the hardest part of all of it. If it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's not. So not everybody does. Staying consistent with your lifts and your lifting routine is key to maintaining strength and preventing injuries. Even during the season, make sure to keep up with your workouts, albeit at lower intensity, but get it done. By understanding these differences and listening to your body, you'll be able to maximize your performance on the mound while minimizing the risk of injury. Remember, the goal is to build a strong, resilient body in the off season and maintain that strength and resilience throughout the season. So far, guys, any questions on these two things, on any of this?
I got no questions.
Jeremiah probably not either. Maybe he does. No questions. No. All right, cool. So we will quickly touch on just like the central nervous system and what it is and how it plays a role in how we operate. A couple more slides here and then we'll be done. All right. So the central nervous system, guys, is a crucial part of your body that consists of the brain and spinal cord. It serves as the control center for all voluntary and involuntary activities, including muscle movements, reflexes, and the processing of sensory information, right? So how does it play a role in pitching? Well, when you pitch, the central nervous system is responsible for coordination, all right? It coordinates the complex sequence of movements needed to execute a pitch effectively and efficiently, all right? It's muscle activation. It sends signals to your muscles to contract and relax at the right times and the correct forces. So that in itself is a lot of different signals that are being sent. All right. Focus and concentration. It helps you maintain focus and concentration throughout the entire, game, which are essential for your accuracy and consistency, right? So when you're trying to dial it in and it's a 3-2 count and you're having to work extra hard and your brain's having to send extra signals to your body to really focus up here and deliver the pitch that you want, those are all being controlled by your central nervous system here. And then reaction time. All right. It processes feedback from your body and the environment, allowing you to make quick adjustments during your pitching. Okay. And so let's talk about what happens when this fatigues, just like it does when you pitch or when you're in a situation that causes a lot of high intensity, right? That's what baseball is throughout the course of a pitching. It's really just a high intensity training, right? So pitching is both physically and mentally demanding, as we all here know, right? And it can lead to central nervous system fatigue. This type of fatigue is different from muscle fatigue and can manifest as decreased coordination and reaction time, right? I've definitely had that. I don't know about you guys, but There's been times where I'm just like, yo, I feel like super slow today, and I couldn't understand why, right? Reduced ability to focus and concentrate, and overall feeling of tiredness or mental exhaustion. All right. That is, signs of a fatigue in your central nervous system. All right. Importance of central nervous system recovery. Just like your muscles, your central nervous system needs time to recover. All right. Proper recovery ensures that your body and mind are ready for optimal performance during your next pitching session. Inadequate recovery can lead to increased risk of injury. Who the hell wants that? Not me. Decreased performance and prolonged fatigue. All right. So here's how to properly recover over a long baseball season, which we all have gone through. Okay. Again, at the top of the list right here, guys, rest and sleep. All right. You need to be aiming for 7 to 9 hours. Honestly, you guys should be aiming for 8 to 9 hours at your age right now of quality sleep, right? I'm not a great sleeper. I've been learning lately that like I need to do different things with my nightly routine to help me sleep through the night. If you guys aren't sleeping through the night consistently and you're waking up multiple times during the night, your body is not entering its deepest relaxation and resting mode, and it could be causing you to not be able to recover to its full capability. So if you guys aren't sleeping through the night, message me separately. That's something that we would need to talk to you and your parents about to understand why that's happening. But one of the things that I would recommend is starting to get a nightly routine. We're on our phones all day, every day. I'm a victim of it as well, watching TV from my bed, being on my phone as I'm going to bed. It's something that I, really want to get out of the habit of, and really give myself 30 to 40 minutes of no TV, no phone as I'm trying to go to bed. That way my body can start to get on a schedule of understanding, hey, it's time to go to sleep at this time, at this hour, and it helps me sleep through. Short naps throughout the day as well. 20 to 30-minute short nap can help rejuvenate your system. So if you've had a long day, or guys, you guys are playing multiple games within the tournament over the course of a weekend, rather than just going and hanging out, with your friends and exerting more energy, if you can conserve that and maybe take a quick nap to help yourself and help your body recover, that could be a great thing that can, really help over the course of a long baseball season. Active recovery. All right. Engage in light physical activities like walking, swimming, or yoga. That's why I'm huge on yoga. There's so many benefits of what it does. I give it to all of you guys. Jeremiah, I know today was just your first day, but there's definitely yoga that gets prescribed within the program. It helps with mobility. It helps with, for me, mental focus and like using that as a place to go to think about different things in my life to help me then perform on the baseball field. And then again, it helps with the recovery of our central nervous system. All right. Stretching and mobility work. We've already talked about that. Again, some of these things are over and over. Can't stress them enough, right? Nutrition and hydration. Need to be consuming and hydrating very, very well. Vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats, right? These are the things that you guys need to be eating on a daily basis, right? You guys follow me on Instagram. I'm constantly posting about what I'm eating, constantly eating what? Who here follows me and sees what I post almost every single day so far? What you got, Mike? So you took yourself
Oh,
on mute.
oh, you're always eating like chicken.
Chicken, rice, and veggies of some sort, right? It's that easy, guys. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Okay. There doesn't need to be like some crazy meal. Now, if you want to make some meals and you want to, talk to your parents about getting something, then cool. But like literally it's that simple. Chicken, rice, and broccoli, with different sauces, with different marinades, all that good stuff. Fish, steak, whatever it is, like ground beef, making sure that we're getting protein, making sure that we're getting vegetables, making sure that we're getting healthy fats and fruits. Like this is stuff that you learn in the second grade on what to eat. We all know what to eat. You just have to take responsibility and ownership to say, I'm going to eat that. Hydration, once again. All right. Mental recovery. All right. This is something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Our bodies and our mind. Let's start with this. Our mind makes like thousands, hundreds of thousands of split-second decisions that you guys don't even recognize until you really sit down and think about it, right? You're watching TV and you're trying to figure out what to watch, or you're scrolling through Netflix and you go through 100 different movies before you find the one. Your mind just worked for 100 different times to try to tell you yes or no. Yes, yes, no, no. I don't like that. I don't like that. Right? You guys are on Instagram every day. You're getting fed a bunch of advertisings. Your mind's making a decision on whether to stay on that page or like it or what to type. Like your mind's constantly working, and it needs time to relax, and it needs time to completely shut off. Now that comes back to sleeping, but during our daytime, we need ways to really just shut it out and tune out the world and just become one with our inner self and our inner thoughts, right? That's why breathing techniques, taking 5 minutes out of your day to just shut off the phone, shut off the camera, and just sit, close your eyes, and just breathe and just think and just sit there and just be okay with just doing nothing for 5 minutes. If you can start with that, you'll start to realize like how important it is to really hone in on those 5 minutes. All right. It'll help with stress. And it'll help with being just mindful of like how your surroundings are. All right. Proper training schedules. We've kind of talked about that. Recovery tools, relaxation, massage, and foam rolling. All right. I'm about to start scheduling, and Jeremiah, I know I've already scheduled it into your program. Mike, I'm about to start scheduling into your program. Foam rolling and lax ball rolling every single day, I think is a wonderful way to really heal the body. Also, if you guys have capabilities of like an ice bath every now and then, or even just taking a cold shower, once a week or something like that. Like you'd be surprised how good your body feels after a cold shower of, let's call it 2 minutes. You just turn that thing on, you just sit there for 2 minutes. It sucks. I know it sucks, but once you get done, I promise you, your body is going to feel a whole lot better and it's going to thank you. And over the course of a season, again, it's little things like this that separate competitors, right? When talent meets talent, how do you separate yourself? Well, you separate yourself by how you sleep. You separate yourself by how you eat. You separate yourself by how you treat your body throughout the day. You separate yourself by how you hydrate your body, right? These are all different things that are in every single one of your control, right? Now it just becomes your responsibility to take ownership and actually do what's required in order to not only just become a great baseball player, but become a well functioning and healthy human being over the course of your life. All right. So prioritize this. Really start to think about this. I'm going to put this in a PDF and I'm going to share it in the group call section so that you guys can have it. But, I really wanted to take the time tonight to really explain how lifting and recovery and all of that stuff works throughout the course of a season. Any questions? Got to be something. Somebody's got to have something here. You guys know everything about in-season lifting and how to take care of your body. So nobody's
So
ever get injured again.
for the in-season lifting, so should you be like maxing out in season or no?
Maxing out in season?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't think that's anything that you need to be doing now. In high school, summer baseball, that's where it can get a little bit different, right? Because you're only playing on the weekends. So really 5 days out of the week, you are technically in an off season, but you're still having to throw every single day and you're still working on your hitting every single day. And like your main focus is what? To hit a number or to perform on the baseball field, right? So like you have to understand what your goal is for that season. Now, if your goal is to say like, hey, I'm not necessarily so wrapped up in how I do or how I perform on the baseball field, and I'm okay with sacrificing that for the weight room right now, then like go at it. But it's really hard to like perform at a peak level while also trying to perform at a peak level in the gym. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So are you currently maxing out right now?
No.
Okay. So curious what the reason for the question was.
Oh, because all my friends max out in the gym, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, and it's okay, dude. There's a time and place to be maxing out, right? There's 100% of time and place to be maxing out. In season is not that time and place. Off season, once the summer ends and we move into fall ball is the off season, man. Like fall ball is about getting some reps in, sure, but like it's time to get after it. It's time to build for the spring again. Let's get strong. Let's put on some weight. Let's put on some mass. Let's put on some size. But again, during spring and summer, for 99% of the people who play baseball, their one and main objective is peak performance on the baseball field. And so whatever that looks like to get there, that's what you need to be doing.
All right. Yeah.
What lifting do you do right now, Mike?
I just lift over at the annex. So usually, because I go twice a week, it's like just like full body.
So what like intensities do you do?
Um, so it's for like rep shot. So there's like no like really like that heavy lifting.
Yep.
Like the only like heavy lift that I'll do is like on trap bar, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And that's good in season. And again, that's not like really putting your body under like crazy stress. You guys haven't really worked out yet. Jeremiah, you're going to start to like through our lifting program that I just prescribed you, like you're going to start to push it a little bit more. But even in the first part of the season, you're chilling. You guys haven't been through weight training yet where, you know, every single lift is just like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. And then you get to the end of the lift and you're just like, I am gassed. Like you guys just haven't fully done that yet, which is okay. And you'll get there, but I'm trying to prepare you mentally for when you get to that point to understand how to maintain and understand that like you can't lift like that throughout the season while also trying to throw the baseball as hard as you can. It just won't sustain over the course of your entire career. Cool. Jeremiah, no questions. Mike, that was your only question.
Yeah, I'll probably think of some more questions I'll ask tomorrow.
Yeah, all good. Jeremiah, I don't think can talk. All good. So all good here, fellas. Appreciate you guys joining on. I hope this was super useful. I hope you guys learned something today. I really appreciate you guys continuing to show up. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me, man. Let's get better. Let's keep pushing, fellas.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. See you, Mike. See you,
See
Jeremiah.
you.